Serie A Roma vs Juventus prediction, team news, lineups preview. After suffering a rare home defeat in midweek, Roma will try to retain their grip on a top 5 place in Serie A when welcoming Juventus to Stadio Olimpico on Sunday. Both sides are intent on claiming a place in next season's Champions League, but neither has secured their spot just yet. Match preview. For the second season running, Roma are taking on Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League semi-finals. And the two clubs reconvened in the Italian capital for Thursday's first leg. The new German champions were seeking revenge for losing last year, and they not only continued their record-breaking unbeaten streak at Roma's expense but also took a giant stride towards meeting either Marseille or Atalanta BC in the final. Conceding once in each half consigned Daniele De Rossi's side to just a fourth defeat since the former midfield general returned to Rome as interim head coach in January, leaving them with a mountain to climb in next week's second leg. De Rossi recently signed a longer contract, but while lifting silverware has now become less likely, he will want to lead his side to an all-important top 5 finish in Serie A, thereby claiming Champions League football for next season. Roma sit 5th in the standings, just ahead of Atalanta, but following a 2-2 draw in last week's Derby del Sole against Napoli. They are still some way from securing a seat at Europe's top table. A late Tammy Abraham equalizer was required to salvage 1 point in Naples, but the capital club certainly do not know when they are beaten. They have scored more goals 20 than any other Serie A side during the last 15 minutes of play this season. However, De Rossi is yet to end a long-standing trend and would dearly love to do so on Sunday evening, in games between Italy's top 5 this term. Roma have not picked up a single point, losing 7 from 7 so far. Following a 1-0 victory in December's reverse fixture, Juventus have won 4 of their last 6 Serie A matches against Roma, keeping a clean sheet in half, so they will have a psychological advantage heading into the club's latest encounter. The Bianconeri are now only 6 points above their hosts in the table, though, as a once promising campaign has slid into stagnant mediocrity over the past few months, having drawn each of their last 3 matches versus Torino, Cagliari and, most recently, AC Milan. Max Allegri's men are now glancing nervously over their shoulders at the teams below them. Juventus have averaged just 1.27 points in the second half of this season, their worst such rate since 2010, and Allegri's future has naturally been called into question. The only ray of light on the landscape is an upcoming return to Rome for the Coppa Italia final, which Juve recently reached by way of a 3-2 aggregate win over Lazio for the second time in 4 years. They will meet Atalanta at Stadio Olimpico. Despite a dismal run of 2 wins from 13 in the league, the Bianconeri also remain on track to secure a spot in next term's new-look Champions League. And Allegri will claim that represents success for a club undergoing a painful period of transition. Team news. In addition to having Zeki Celik back from a UEFA suspension, Diego Llorente and Leandro Paredes are both available to Daniele De Rossi after serving bans in Roma's draw with Napoli last weekend. Rasmus Christensen and Juventus loanee Dean Huijsen return, too, as they were not registered to play in the Europa League knockout stages, so the home side have plenty of scope to rotate ahead of next week's trip to Leverkusen. One candidate for a rest is injury-prone forward Paulo Dybala, who played 7 seasons for Juve from 2015 to 2022, making 293 appearances and scoring 115 goals across all competitions. He has been directly involved in 40 goals from only 50 league games since leaving Turin. Dybala and Juventus striker Dusan Vlahovic have played a part in the most Serie A strikes this calendar year, with both players being involved in 12 goals since the start of 2024. Vlahovic should partner Federico Chiesa or Kenan Yildiz up front on Sunday. The Bianconeri's only injury absentee will be Alex Sandro, who is sidelined by a calf problem, so Max Allegri is set to name a similar 11 to that which held Milan goalless last time out. Chiesa could replace Yildiz, and Weston McKennie may come in for his fellow American Timothy Weah. But no further changes are expected. Roma possible starting lineup. Sviler, Selic, Mancini, Ndicka, Angelino, Cristante, Paredes, Pellegrini, Dybala, Lukaku, El Shaarawy. Juventus possible starting lineup: Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Danilo, Cambiaso, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Chiesa, Vlahovic. We say, Roma 1-1 Juventus. While Juventus have lost all momentum, are stuttering towards the end of another troubled season. Distracted Roma may have one eye on turning their Europa League semi-final tie around. The hosts also have a woeful record against Italy's other top clubs, so Juve can record a fourth straight Serie A draw. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.